And we live. Let's kick Southern Fried Sports off. It's time to get cooked. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is JD, the Southern Fried Gentleman of Southern Fried Sports. Yes, indeedy. It is time to talk about these classic football games that we had today. Man, we've got a ton of them going on right now. We've already seen a few outstanding games by in-state teams today. Boy, I'm telling you what, I am so excited to bring you guys this edition of Game Day Reaction. Make sure to get in on YouTube. So Facebook, hello. Listen, as I always tell you guys, we just crossed 100 subscribers on YouTube. So what I need you to do, if you're on Facebook and if you want to share a thought about your college football team for today, come to YouTube, search at Southern Fried Sports JD, hit subscribe, come on in. I will read all of your comments live. We had huge wins by Clinton last night in the playoffs. Burns got a win. Greer came back and got a win. Newberry won. Tons of things going on in the football and sports world. I want you guys to be a part of it. Don't forget greenvillesportsmedia.com. So Facebook, hey, time to hang up. Listen, y'all come to YouTube right now. Southern Fried Sports JD. Come get in on this conversation. You will not want to miss what I've got planned for you this evening. Be blessed, not stressed. All right, YouTube, time to get down to the nitty gritty. So, man, let's start off with this Clemson and Pittsburgh game today. I'll be honest with you guys. I thought it was going to be a snooze fest in the second half. Clemson got out 17-7. I thought they were going to be good to go. I really didn't think there was going to be any need to pay attention to that game in the second half. But in classic fashion, Pittsburgh decided they wanted to score, what was it, 16 unanswered points or something like that, I think, for Pittsburgh. Golly, I don't forgot what the score of the game was now there for a minute. 17-7. They scored 13 unanswered, made it 20-17. And then, of course, Cade Klubnik, he said, here, man, hold my beer. I will put you guys on my back. Cade Klubnik took it to the house for his second longest run of the year. What a great game. What a classic. There was some drama, though, in this game. There was drama in the game. Of course, a lot of Clemson fans, and I have not been able to, go back and find the Sammy Brown hit. I've been trying. I wanted to see Sammy Brown. I wanted to see the hit that he was thrown out for. I was listening to it on the radio when that happened, so I didn't get the full spectrum. And then, of course, we had the phantom roughing the passer call on Cade Klubnik. Listen, if that was roughing the passer, then they were playing soccer. Or I don't know what they were playing, but it wasn't football if that was roughing the passer. And then not only for them to call that one on Cade Klubnik, they came back later on and missed a call where the dude basically put his hands all up in the quarterback for Pittsburgh's face. And then the controversial side of it was they decided to drop a flag like 5 minutes later. Like, listen, y'all missed the call. Just go on about it at that point. You can't drop the flag that late. That one seemed sketch to me. There was also one in the Gamecocks game. We'll get to that one here in a bit. But right now we're talking about Clemson and Pittsburgh. Ladies and gentlemen, Southern Fried Gentlemen, Southern Fried Sports. I need to see some comments. I know y'all got takes on the day. Cade Klubnik bailed out his team. Clemson's offense, they looked, again, dynamic there in the first half for a bit. That's why I thought it was going to be a snooze fest in the second half. You had drama-filled calls. You had a tight game down to the wire. What a game between Clemson and Pittsburgh. Clemson, of course, pulled it out. Dabo, even after the game, criticized the officials. He might get a fine for that. Most likely will get a fine for that. Based on what he said, based on what I saw, the ACC commissioner will be reaching into Dabo Swinney's pocket, I believe, here very soon. But either way, Clemson fans, hey, you came out with the game. Y'all won. You're 8-2. Play the Citadel next week. And then, like I mentioned, we're going to get to the Gamecocks here shortly. Gamecocks, they won tonight as well. Most nervous I've been watching a game in a very long time. And it started early on in the first quarter. And I'll go ahead and I'll use that to transition over to the Gamecock and Missouri Tiger game. As I just said, that is the most nervous I have been watching a game in a very long time. What I will say, though, is that Lenore Sellers, Nick Harbor, Jared Brown, Joshua Simon, the offensive line, Tree, Josiah, all of you guys, man, credit. What a game. I'll be honest with you. They're late. I got that feeling down in my stomach, man. Like, man, this is going to be another one that we let get away from us. And all signs pointed to such. But, man, you guys and Rocket Sanders would not be denied, much like Cade Klubnik. So, y'all, again, like I said, that it was two great classic games. Both of our in-state teams won on late clutch. Most of you people don't even know what a clutch is. It's the third pedal to the left. They don't even exist very much in cars anymore. But yeah, there's cars that used to have a clutch. You got to push that pedal in to change the gear. And we also refer to athletes as being clutch. And man, Cade Klubnik, Rocket Sanders, clutch players of the games today, for sure. And then again, though, Beamer, man, you almost outcoached yourself. Once you got those two fourth down conversions on that same drive, all of the analytics should have told you that the third one probably was not going to go very well. So that could have been an additional 3 points on the scoreboard. And then maybe things had gone the way they did. Because every time that we have a fourth down attempt and we fail, I don't know if you guys notice this or not, but it gives the team all the momentum in the world. Literally, all the momentum in the world. And hey, credit to Missouri. They had a game plan to neutralize South Carolina's defensive line and apparently a zone run block scheme and stretch runs was the way to do it. Because, man, I'm telling you what, they controlled the line of scrimmage. I know at the half, Neal for Missouri had 12 carries for 111 yards. Based on what the Gamecocks had been giving up prior, that's way too much, way too many. That's why that game was much closer for comfort than a lot of us would have liked. And not only that, Beamer had the chance to tie Spurrier for the most double-digit win SEC victories as Spurrier had. He was on pace in the first half. They didn't do what they needed to do at halftime, I don't think. And so, therefore, Shane Beamer will have to wait at least until next year to tie Spurrier for the most wins in SEC by a double-digit margin. because he has no more SEC games this year. The Gamecocks will finish 5-3 in the SEC with the potential to go 9-3 or 8-4 overall, depending on how these last two games go. Obviously, Wofford should be a win. This sets up for a huge matchup, though, for Clemson and us going forward. And I think I can go ahead and announce Susan Lloyd, Parker's _Tiger on X. She will be here game week for she and I to have some Gamecock and Clemson Tiger banter. And speaking of Tiger, though, as I'm talking about the Gamecocks, that's one thing about Mizzou, and I think the rivalry that we have had come up with Mizzou. Think about it. We share the same town name. We both play in Columbia. The Missouri Tigers are Tigers. One of our most hated rivals are the Clemson Tigers. Therefore, we play against this team that shares the same town name and it shares the same rival mascot or same mascot as our rival. So Missouri, they carry a special hatred, I think, in Gamecocks' eyes. And especially considering how close all the games have been, how they've finished, the comebacks. It's been an epic series. And speaking of epic series, how about LSU and Florida? Y'all, LSU lost to Florida. We've got Oregon right now, number one team, losing to Wisconsin. Texas handled business. Ohio State and Northwestern handled business. SMU, they were up on Boston College. How about the Stanford-Louisville upset? Stanford came back and somehow upset Louisville with a game-winning field goal. Y'all, like I said, it has been a wild, wild day in college football. All around, we've got high school football going on. We had the fights and stuff last night, which I do have a couple of takes on the fights. But y'all, how did y'all feel about the Clemson game? The Gamecocks? How do you feel about Oregon? Boise State also in a battle right now. Y'all, this is about to get real. About to get really, really, really real when it comes down to these college football playoffs. So, y'all, let me do my duty. Shout out to the Williams family. My thoughts, prayers, condolences. I'm still thinking about you guys. Thankfully, the Gamecocks got us all a victory today. Hopefully, that was one small feather in the cap for your family. But we are thinking of you guys. Williams, Scott, Rowdy Rooster, all of y'all. Much love. I tell you what, y'all. Let's take a little break. Let's get off of the college football for a moment. I'll give you a few quick takes. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I need your comments. I need your subscribes. Y'all jump in here. Let me know what you think. We'll be right back. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back. Southern Fried Gentlemen, Southern Fried Sports. Still looking for your comments. Listen, I don't know about you guys. I'm tired. I'm about ready for bed. And you want to know why? Probably the same reason that you are. Because we all stayed up entirely too late last night, waiting on this Jake Paul, Mike Tyson boxing match. I think I would have been better off if I would have just watched the Serrano and Taylor lady boxing match, because did y'all see old girl's eye? I mean, that thing was split open. She kept going back in, and she landed more punches, and she got headbutted in order to get that split on the eye. Therefore, her opponent was docked a point, and she still lost by 1 point. That has been a very confusing thing for all of the boxing world today, figuring out exactly how Serrano lost this fight to Taylor. And now, listen, those girls, bro, I'm telling you what, I wouldn't get in the ring with neither one of them. I wouldn't get in the ring with any of them, honestly, but especially those two young ladies that I saw last night, because they were going ham. They were letting it rip. And then, of course, like I said, we stayed up to watch Tyson and Paul, and they weren't letting it rip. That was the lamest main event I've ever seen in my entire life. And yes, I know Mike Tyson's 58 years old. I heard several people mention Mike Tyson's legs, and of course, him showing bare cheeks on Netflix. That was a topic of conversation as well. But the one thing that stood out to me, though, were his legs during the fight. He looked like he had a set of chicken legs, man. Bird legs, chicken legs. Looked like he needed to do some squats, running. I don't know. He had no lower leg power. I don't know if that's come with his old age or what. But, man, what a dud of a main event it was. I hated that I stayed up and tried to watch it. I would have much rather had watched Serrano and Taylor go at it again, or just watch their fight over again. And then here's the kicker of the night, y'all. Jerry Jones used the curtains. He's got his own football players complaining about the sun. He won't put the curtains up. He says, we know where the sun's going to be. But they put the curtains up for a fight that happened mostly at night. That dude is senile, bro. Jerry Jones, man. Good luck, Cowboys fans. As long as Jerry Jones running the show, making these asinine decisions, you got no shot. And so that's my takes, though, on the fight last night. Again, shout out Williams family. Y'all, we've got tons of college football going on. This is a relatively quick episode of Southern Fried Sports. So, with that being said, let's get into a few NFL notes real quick, and we're going to go watch Georgia, Tennessee, Oregon, Wisconsin, and we're going to go watch our NFL fantasy teams and football tomorrow. We've got Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I couldn't read my writing there for a minute. And I've usually got neat handwriting. I'm ashamed of myself. Pittsburgh and Baltimore coming up tomorrow. Should be a great game. Lamar Jackson's on my fantasy team. So I don't care if he loses or not, as long as he puts up tons of fantasy points to beat Shane Barrett in fantasy football tomorrow. Don't forget Kansas City, Buffalo. And then there's one team on a bye that I want to mention real quick, the Carolina Panthers. And the report has come out, apparently, in the last few days, that they are still not sold on Bryce Young as their starter going into the future. They might have their eyes on Justin Fields. Interesting. I don't know if they'll be able to get Justin Fields to come to the Panthers, but Panthers, couldn't y'all have just not traded away all your picks to Chicago a few years ago and DJ Moore? And maybe you could have just drafted Justin Fields yourself in the first place? Or CJ Stroud. Could have took CJ Stroud last year. So now we're going to go backwards, though, and maybe go get Justin Fields. Or, rumor has it, they're also interested, Matt Kraft, they're interested in Miami quarterback Cam Ward, whom I think is probably third in the favorites to win the Heisman Trophy right now. Who, speaking of Heisman, Travis Hunter, man, had himself a day, per the usual, an interception, an ungodly amount of snaps played. He is the truth. Travis Hunter has 2 of the 3 seasons ever recorded with 50 receptions and 3 interceptions. He did it last year. He's done it again this year. And the only other player to ever have done so is Champ Bailey. It's good company. Travis Hunter is leading for the Heisman. Cam Ward, I would say, is third. G.T. Ashton from Boise. Like I mentioned, they're in the battle, though, with San Jose State. So, y'all, all right. I've talked about the Panthers. We've talked about the fight. We've talked college football. I'm ashamed I didn't get any comments. I look forward to reading many of them after I sign off. But for the Furman Joust, GreenvilleSportsMedia.com, the Pinsman Podcast, the Fresh Channel, Dubby Energy Drinks, JD672. Use that. Get yourself a promo on some Dubby Energy Drinks. What classic games we had today in college football. Hopefully, we get plenty of classic games tomorrow. Shout out, though, all the podcasters. Shout out all the fam. Y'all remember, be blessed, not stressed, and just be kind to one another, dang it. And bang, bang, chicken gang. How about that Rocket Sanders grown man run? How about that Cade Klubnik grown man run? It's a great day to be a South Carolinian, as Nikki Haley would say. We're out, chill. Be blessed.